Sometimes you don't have to write what happened in that day. What you could write is, hi my friend, have you watched a lot of journal flip through videos or planner setup videos, and then looking at other people's journal make you feel like it's so cozy and inspiring? It make you want to keep up with your own journal as well. Yet every year when New Year's come, you bought a brand new notebook and planning on starting your journal habits, and you'll never be able to keep up with it. If that's you, I feel you. I was like that. If we keep up with journaling, it's such a beneficial thing. But do you feel like sometimes when you're writing in your diary, you feel like you have no idea what to put in there? Sometimes you almost feel like whatever you put in there every single day, it's just repetitions and it's boring. And today I'm here to help you out. Last year I had a mindset shift around September, and from then I was able to keep up with my journal every single day. I'm a full-time film director and my workload is insane. Yet under this heavy workload, I was able to keep up with the daily journaling habit for 4 months straight. Not only I built the habit of journaling every single day, but I'm craving for it. It's this little thing I do to help me recover my mind from each day's stress, as well as it helped me build up a lot of self-awareness and increased my joy and creativity. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you my mindset shift, as well as flip through some of my journal pages from the last 4 months to kind of show you the path to daily journaling, and hopefully it can help you build your daily journaling habit as well. So the mindset shift that I had is to let go of what it should be like. Sometimes I'd like to call it lay back, whatever attitude. So let me explain. A lot of time we watch a lot of journal setup video, and we have this idea of we want to dedicate, for example, daily pages to do XYZ. And when we do that, we kind of restrain ourselves in this little box. And anything that doesn't fit into this box, we can't put on that page. When we have put that limitation on ourselves, that's when it's start making it more like an obligation instead of something you do for fun. Another example is maybe you want to have a very neat, organized, beautiful journal, but you write the wrong words and you scratched out, and it's discouraging for you. Any limitation that you set for yourself will become something kind of take the fun out of the journaling. Let me list a few common things that people use to limit themselves. Number one, I think this is the biggest mistake people make, is they limit themselves by restraining themselves what they should write in the page. To me, you can write whatever you like. For example, people think this is strictly for diary, so I have to write what's happening in a day. But if you have a 9-to-5 job, chances are Monday through Friday, your life is going to be exactly the same. And your journal entry as the diary is going to be pretty much the same, except whatever you eat for lunch, those small things that would be different. But overall it will get boring really fast because every day is the same. You go to work, you come home, you go to bed. So what are you gonna do if that happens? Another thing is something I used to do, and let me share that with you. Each year I get my hobonichi planner and I set it up, and I try to keep up with it, and I try to use it to write to-do lists, to plan for the day, and they end up just looking like this. Every day I have my big 3 tasks, and I have other tasks I keep tracking of, and some of the days I only have big 3 tasks or 2 tasks. And as you can see, my journal get boring pretty fast, and it's not fun to keep up with such a boring journal, and I'll just start neglecting it, and every once in a while I'll pick up again and hope for the best that this time I will definitely keep up with my journal daily, and it never happens. Another thing is people limit themselves in how they should decorating their journal. They have to limit themselves in a certain color palette, or use a certain type of washi tape, or printing out a picture. For example, one of the things I used to do is I would love to kind of start a diary into my journal every single day and add pictures from that day. And what happened is, again, sometimes life can get a little bit repetitive, and when that happened, I find myself couldn't find enough picture of me hanging out with my friends, things like that, or something that's outside of norm to put it in my journal. And then another thing is something I heard most common in the journaling community is, what if I wrote a wrong word? Do I have to cross it out? If I do that, my page is kind of ruined. That kind of mindset will set up us for failure and will limit our creativity. If you look into the journal of all the artists that's published, just get a copy of it and take a look. They were all pretty messy. I highly recommend a book. You can check it out. It's called The Memory of Distant Mountains. This writer keeping this journal, he also paint in the journal too, but he always changed up the color that he used on his pen, and sometimes in the same page he already run out of space and he add paragraphs in the corner, things like that. And here is another example. It's a published journal from musician Kurt Cobain. If you look into this journal, let me flip for you a little bit, you will see it's quite messy, and he crosses out things however he likes. Like even the notebook that he used is just simple notebook, and those journal are the journal filled his creativity and all the music that he have, thoughts he has about life, and then his doodles, things like that. He even write in with markers. I think those speak for itself. Journaling is supposed to be something spontaneous to help us express our creativity. We should let go of what it should look like and have that laid back whatever attitude, and then see what comes to you in the moment, on the day of when you pick up that pen or that washi tape or that decorative things. Anything that came to your mind is what should go into the page. When you do that, you will find journaling gradually becoming something that your soul rely on a lot. Enough of chit chat. I'm going to flip through some of my 2024 journal with you and share some example with you of what things I've done that reflecting on this mindset shift that I just shared with you. So in the very beginning of 2022, I was still pretty uptight, kind of like, oh, this page needs dedicated to reflecting 2023, things like that, to make everything perfect and the right title with different fonts. There's nothing wrong with like writing a title with a different pen. Those are a fun thing to do. The only thing in there that's limited is all of those are already planned in my head, and I was executing exact how I was planning in my head. There was a lot of stress and feel responsible towards this page. I hope that makes sense. And when in the very beginning, I want to like keep track of my habit. And if you watch my last flip through video about my 2025 setup, you know habit tracker is something I had a very difficult time to keep tracking of. I would give up quickly because I don't flip to this page often, and when I don't turn to those page, I don't see it, I don't use it. My journal was pretty empty because I had no idea what am I going to do with those page. All I want to do is just use it for planning, but I already have like weekly page and daily page to plan. Why would I plan 3 times in monthly, weekly, and daily page? It doesn't really make sense to me, and it's feeling like a chore. There's no purpose for this page, and then soon I gave up. If you're interested in what's the purpose I assigned for my monthly page, you can check out my 2025 journal setup video, and I explain in there, and I think that's much more fun way to keep up with the monthly page, and I'm 100% sure I will keep it up this time. Okay, so quickly flip into January. I didn't do much journaling in the January because I was filming on set, and then when I'm filming on set, keeping up a journal at that time for me is more like a chore, so I have been neglecting it for a long time until later I try to use my journal by writing what happened in the day and taping movies I watched in there, hopefully do a little bit movie review, things like that. And as you can see, I was not keeping up with it. I taped the picture, but I was writing the review. So my journal has been on and off for a long time, up until around August. Yeah, so after August, every single page is filled with fun stuff and inspirations. So I'm going to give you some example. Roughly around this time, I start viewing my notebook in a very different way. I thought when I was a kid, we used to keep a kind of scrapbook requested by school, like that was like primary school thing back in China. And then every kid have this ugly notebook, and we use it to basically write down anything that, for example, teacher asks us to do a math, we have to write down the number, we put it in a scrapbook. In a literature class, teacher asks us to brainstorm, we write into the scrapbook. And then sometimes as a kid, we also like write down conversations in the scrapbook and then pass the scrapbook to your desk mate or the people behind you, and then they write an answer back to you. That way, like having a little conversation with the scrapbook instead of actually talking to each other. It was just like a fun thing we do. But every semester we had that new scrapbook fill out towards the end of the semester, and then it just felt very satisfying flipping through, even though inside the scrapbook was a mess. But when you actually read through each pages, it brings back memory, it brings back your mind, what has happened to you at that moment, or what kind of conversation, kind of class that you had, what fun you had, or sometimes what kind of bully I experienced, things like that. It's all in there in a random way. Like it become a little messy book of a collection of bytes of memories. When I suddenly think of that, I told myself, why don't I just lay back and relax and put whatever I feel like to my daily page that day and then see how it goes. So this is the first example. On August 30th, I thought I got so many things I want to do. I need a place to write them down. I want to see what are the things I really want to keep doing, because I have a lot of hobbies. So I thought I need to write them down to really look through, vote a little bit, see what's the priority, what's the thing I should kind of neglect a little bit right now, because I don't want to commit to too many things. Just as I was going to grab a piece of random printing paper to do that, I thought, why don't I just write this into my daily page that day? And that's all I did. Things I like to do, and then write down all the things I would love to do. It's just kind of clearing mind and put the mess onto the page. And for this page is the day I went to keyboard convention, and all I put there are keyboards that I've seen that I thought it was kind of cool, and I write down why I like the keyboard. September 1st was hobonichi launch day. I went to hobonichi store. Again, I was not be able to keep up with it, but starting from there, my daily journaling habit is born. So sometimes I put a picture. For example, this day is a relative special day, so I did put on pictures with my friends hanging out together. But also sometimes I print out conversation that I have with other people, like text messages that inspired me or I thought it was fun, and then tape into it as well. And I went to travel, so this is kind of more extra special occasions. So I bought local newspaper and kind of cut out things I like and taped in there. That made it very memorable. So this is more like a diary format of journaling. And let me show you this page. This page is like 2 of the days I have no idea what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna put in there. And I started looking and digging through my different kind of papers. I thought, why don't I just tape things together, see if I can create a little piece of art here. And it turns out quite ugly, but whatever. And I randomly saw a picture of this TV show, which is one of my favorite vertical TV show. So I just printed and then tape it here, even though I didn't watch that TV show that day. I just need something to decorate the page. And for this side, I still don't know what to do. I only wrote not a very happy day because how difficult is it to make last project, blah blah blah, just all kinds of complaining. But I find my thoughts stopped and I don't know what to write next. So I start using this page to try out different fountain pens and inks I have, see how they reacting with my hobonichi papers. Yeah, so that's not diary format, that's just something random. Another day, I believe when I do my hobonichi unboxing, you probably have already seen this page. It's just all the things I received from hobonichi, all the pens. I just try out the colors and then I cut out a couple of stickers, like packaging papers, and the tape in there again because I didn't know what to do that day. So this is very earlier stage of me trying to keep up with the daily journal. I still had a hard time to fill out the page with more words at that time, but at least I was filling out the page and then become a little bit more relaxed towards each page, and then just kind of almost sit there and allow whatever came to my mind and then put it right there. That's all I commit to do. I'm not committing to write a full page of stuff, nor committing to make a very wonderful, great, pretty decoration. My goal was at the time just filling every page, even if it's just like pen testing and a package sticker taping together. I hope that makes sense. And then starting from there, I start finding more things that I start want to collect for my journal. For example, I started to collecting comments that you guys leave in YouTube video that I thought I was really touched by it, and there was a huge paragraph of comment that I feel very encouraged to read by my friend here on YouTube, Ryan. I printed them out and then put it down and then taped it into my journal, and then that was really fun to do. And then later I started doing movie reviews again. I went to watch a movie, I feel a lot of things, so I put it onto the paper, but I find myself finished writing. I don't have more words to write, and then I decided to use this spot to do a nominee guessing. Like I was guessing what kind of nomination this film will get from Oscar. And later I started doing much more experimental things like I'm tracking my moods, and I start flipping my journal to a different way to do that. I think once you start flipping your journal horizontal or upside down, you will start getting more outside of the box and to use it a different way. So I started saying, why don't I just try to do a mood chart today and see how it goes. One example I want to share with you is sometimes you don't have to exactly write what happened in that day. What you could write is what thoughts you have that day, what feeling you have. Feeling can be thoughts in the head, a kind of mindset that you have, but it also can be a sense of physical sensation that you have. And then I would start allow myself to write those things in my journal. And as I'm writing, for example, this one I titled Another Anxious Day. So I start writing how I was feeling and then monitoring myself. And gradually I start raise question, like, why am I feeling this? Because I stayed up late last night before and spent a lot of time scrolling, or because the first thing I woke up today I saw was the Slack chat, which is the working chat, and that kind of just made me more anxious, or because I missed the company class I wanted to go. I just start like journaling and then write down a lot of mind ruminating onto the page. That was the starting point that made me realize how helpful journaling can be. It reached to a point that help you identify like all the pink highlight I have here, what really happened, like what are the specific thoughts in your head that's bugging you. Because usually anxiety, you might come with only one thing subconsciously and make me feel anxious, but sometimes when it felt really bad, it might be a pile up of different things, like the case of today. And then I find myself have a lot of reason causing my anxiety. And that's really helpful because now I have the awareness of the night before scrolling can cause my anxiety, or looking at the work chat first thing in the morning can cause me anxiety, things like that. Then in the future I can do better and then prevent that. So this is another one I'd like to share with you. I think it's one of the day. Still bad mood, I'm start using my bad mood stamp. If my day start getting repetitive, I would write a lot of more thinking and feeling based stuff, and I tell myself to slow down, be present and breathe, because I'm start feeling behind. When I find myself not have things to do, I would also randomly add quotes that I saw, or I was watching a video, I thought this claim was kind of interesting, so I wrote it here. And then another day, it's a work day, and what I put in there are conversation we had during the work, like chats. And then this is like a database that I got from my current project, things like that I put in there. And this page is completely, besides I describe a little bit of my mood, it become a page of work notes. Even though I would have thoughts like, why should I put a work in my personal journal? But at the end of the day, work is part of the life, so I decided to make it decorative. Okay, so this is more normal example, like when I'm thinking about my diary, that would be something I would like to do every single day, but things like that doesn't happen every day. This is a page that I went out have dinner with my friend that day, so we took picture. I just put in there and write down the conversation we had during dinner, things like that. But again, that doesn't happen every day, so I would call this event-based page. And another day of bad mood. I find my bad mood days are all very interesting, so I've been sharing you a lot of a bad mood day. Don't worry, I have a lot of a good mood day too. It just happens because I thought this is kind of cute. Anyway, so I think it's like extreme example that I can share with you is if you have such a bad mood, you don't even know what to write. You can do what I just did here, like literally just write. In Chinese, I wrote, I have a bad mood, and I write in a way of being decorative. I look through all my stickers, I saw a random sticker, I was like, I'm just gonna randomly put on a spot in the notebook. It was not planned. This whole thing was not planned. I randomly put on the sticker and I was like, oh, that's quite ugly. Let me see if what else I can find. So I look through my sticker again and I find Bad Mood Girl sticker. I thought that was kind of cute, so I tip it onto the round thing. And I still feel like it feels a little bit empty. That's when I wrote I have a bad mood in Chinese and then put this part. And then I filling with words and my feelings, what I've tried to work on, things like that. I think this is a quite good example of I started with a blank page. Even though it was intimidating, I didn't know what to do. But when I started taping things in there, it gradually became a little crafty art project. I hope that makes sense. This is another example of my chat with friends. I printed out and put it in the notebook. This is a conversation I had with my producer at that time when we were working on that project. It's a football themed young adult film. So it was very stressful because before making that project, I didn't even know anything about football. So I was learning about everything about football and then choreograph about football, talking to coach and plan. So there was a lot of unknown and a high work volume. I was completely stressed out. So I sent her a message, tell her I'm a little bit low. And then she sent me a huge paragraph tell me that we already doing a good job. Don't worry. We just need to do our best, something like that. And I was really touched by it, so I printed it out and then tape it here. And then a day like this would be a day that I had a good mood. I went to watch the Joker and the Joker 2. I didn't like the Joker 1, and after watching Joker 2, I ended up falling back into love Joker 1 and then 2 together. I feel these two movies needs to be watched together, and then they are masterpiece. So I was so excited about it, and then wrote a whole page about how I didn't like Joker 1 and then how much I love Joker 1 and 2 together, things like that. It's not necessarily a diary. It's also not necessarily my mood or feelings, but it's a record of experience. It's a sort of experience that I had in life. In this case, it's towards a movie. I don't know if you can see this now. It's like this page is technically not event-based diary. I'm not recording much of the event besides knowing this day I went to watch Joker 2. But at the same time, it became a page of very meaningful thing that it would be fun to look back into in the future when I flip through my journal. Okay, I'm going to skip a lot page because those are the pages I was working on set filming that football film. By the way, the film is already out. It called The Quarterback Next Door on Real Show app. Okay, not sponsored. It's my own directing project. If you are interested, I'm going to leave the first few episodes, the free episodes link. I believe it's on YouTube. I'm gonna directly leave the YouTube link in the description so you can check out the film too. I really like it. That was one of my favorite to make. Alright, so those are things I did. We were doing a winter ball for the high school, things like that. So yeah, let me flip through. Yeah, so all of those pages are just days that I'm working on set. This page I want to show you a little example about how casual I am. I wrote the wrong words, I crossed out multiple times because I don't care. And I wrote a paragraph here that's something that's quite mundane and meaningless. After I finish this very meaningless paragraph about other people's business, I wrote right here, I was like, I can't believe I'm writing such meaningless thing in my journal. And later I was like, or is it meaningless? Question mark. So it's almost like you journal something and you can journal even more about whatever you're journaling. Next one is when I started thinking about being more decorative. A lot of time we being decorative by taping good stickers, kind of mapping out how we want to arrange things in the journal. This day, I was just randomly have a thought. I have this like a really thin flora half transparent paper. So I thought, why don't I tape the paper on top of the words I wrote? So I did. It turns out quite cute and unique, even though I can't really see the words super clear, but who cares, I still can read them. So another thing I did, my book reviews, sometimes I read that book in one sitting that day, so I put a big review here, right? So Oh, Luna. That's the day Luna came home. She's so tiny. And then this one is my mood tracker. I started doing mood tracker. Every Sunday, I stamp this chart right here. So every day, I mark out my mood score and I write down why I have that mood. If you watch my last video, you probably already seen my mood tracker. I find this very helpful because I see how my mood go up and down throughout the week, and what caused it helped me build a lot of awareness about things I do or thoughts I have that kind of cause my mood shift, and in that awareness I can manage myself much better. And then this is another example. One of the day I thought I want to paint, so I dug out my old watercolor. I haven't painted with a watercolor for like 6-7 years now. I didn't even remember how to do it, and then that day I remember I have a weird mood, so I was like, I'm just gonna paint whatever I feel like, and I paint this super ugly picture. I thought it was so ugly, but at the same time so interesting because I had a bad mood and it's overshadowed on top, but my flower is blossom on the bottom. I didn't plan this. I literally just like paint as I go, just look at a color saying, okay, I'll just draw a flower here. Okay, I'll test out different color here, and then it turns out become like a rainbow. It become a shadowy day, but rain down rainbow to the flowers. So interesting, even though it's ugly. Let me see what else I want to share. This is another page I'd like to share. That's towards the end of 4 months. I'm start getting pretty good at journaling at this time. Every day I feel my page is not enough for me to use. I always write onto the edges because I have so many thoughts I want to put down. I'm writing down things that happened. I'm writing down my feelings. I'm writing down things, my philosophical thinking that I have, my experience, things like that. So the page gets fuller and fuller. And also I'm not only typing pictures of movie I watched, or things I've done, or my pets, but I also start collecting things to tape in there. Like this is just a paper from a sticker package, but I thought it was kind of cute, so I also folded it over and then tape onto this page. And this is also coming from a sticker package. It's like a secret sticker. You buy it, but you don't really know what it look like. And I tape the package right here and then show, okay, underneath the secret sticker, it looked like this, and then tape the secret sticker here. I hope that makes sense. So all those days I start getting fuller and fuller. It became a little bit more words than pictures. The last one I want to share with you is my travel to Borogo Spring at the end of last year. And again, I love to buy local newspaper because they allow me to learn how people live locally. So I taped down a lot of like local things down here, the events, their competitions, and local newspapers title, things like that. I thought it's really fun. And underneath I write down what happened that day. This is another example of I'm documenting the day, but I keep writing stuff wrong, so I just scratched over. That's all I have I want to share with you for my last year's journal. Those are the things you can start trying to put in your journal, but not limited to those things. Like what happened in a day, why am I having such a good or bad mood, why I'm feeling lazy right now, and what's the sensation of laziness, what did I do yesterday caused me feel what I feel today. Or you can write down a conversation you had with your friend, either brought you joy and fulfillment or gave you a lot of anxiety. You can write down things and people that bothers you, and this is how I feel. It's really important to let out your feeling, and then writing it down is a great way to do it. You'll feel much better once it become a habit of yours. And the last but not least is you can also write down things that inspire you. It could be a picture of the people you feel inspire you, a screenshot of a video you watched today that you randomly see on the street that you feel inspired. Either snap a picture of it and tape in your journal, or just copy it down with your fountain pen, things like that. Or you can even use a marker, Sharpie, whatever you like. Lay back and have your whatever attitude that will help you free your creativity. And if you like today's video, you probably will like my 2025 journal setup video as well, and you can click it right here. Be patient, be present, stay creative. I'll see you next week. Bye.